Section 3 of Article 4 of the Constitution says that new states may be admitted by the Congress into this union. Does Kathy support adding Puerto Rico as the 51st state or altering the Constitution to allow for Washington, D.C. to become a state? Why or why not?
I think I will just repeat that Kathy strongly and clearly protects our Constitution. One of the things that has been very clear is that we know the motive for adding new states, and that's exactly what the Constitution was meant to protect. And that is, our Constitution is basically that document which enshrines the full participation of 50 republics. And that's what our states are. And we have currently an administration and an opposing party that believes that we are just a majority-ruled democracy. And it's difficult, it's inconvenient to have states be fully and fairly represented. So what do they want to do? They want to add 2 states that would add 4 senators that would forever enshrine what they think would be their power balance. So for that reason, Kathy would be fully opposed to that kind of position and that kind of rule. We are always an emerging and changing democracy, and we do know that we have a history of adding new republics, newer states to that. But that is done through a full and fair and vetting and representational process, which we are not seeing in what is being proposed in Washington now. So until we become fully representational again, Kathy would oppose, or she would stand up and make sure the voices of all Americans and the supermajority of Americans is reflected in what's in Washington and not the whims of who's in power.
Thank you. Casey, the same question to you. Section 3 of Article 4 of the Constitution states that new states may be admitted by the Congress into the Union. Do you support adding Puerto Rico as the 51st state or altering the Constitution to allow for Washington, D.C. to become a state?
I think everybody is happy with the number of states we have right now in the Union. And to me, the idea of adding additional actually bodies or cities for that matter, it's not something that we should exercise or treat very seriously. Let's stop and think, especially in case of the Washington, D.C. We're really talking about having another democratic state added to the country. That's a totally country, and also it does not make sense that a city could become actually another state. We should be very careful about this exercise because we can have other cities follow the same trend. How about New York? How about Los Angeles? So this is not something that should follow at any point. And I think sometimes there may be a reserved situation for certain bodies like Puerto Rico, but they, by all measures, already exercise to a lot of extent, a lot of powers actually that, exercised by the states. I don't think we need to be as crucial and as determined to include them as a state. But if it's anything done, it should be done under the control of a Congress. It should be up to the Congress to decide to what should be treated as an additional state. And I'm sure the Congress would be wise enough and had the common sense to understand that there are certain rules that are not to be played. And having a city-state like Washington is definitely not one of them. Thank you.
Thank you.